Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah, aka Thepassportsis, and I'm coming to y'all to update y'all on my plastic surgery journey that I will be beginning here in Medellin, Colombia. Just to give y'all a little bit of background information about why I'm getting plastic surgery, I have a disease called lipedema. And basically what that is I gain an excessive amount of fat in my lower half. So in my butt area, in my thighs, and in my calves, as well as my arms. Now, the difference between the fats in my legs and regular fat that I would get anywhere else, like my stomach, is that this fat is exercise resistant. So for example, if I lose weight, I will lose it in my face, I will lose it in my stomach, but it is very, very difficult to get rid of the fat in my legs. I will see slight change in my arms. I will see slight changes, but not big enough to where it's worth the effort that I'm putting in. And the diet that I have to maintain just to try to keep it in check is really strict, guys. Like eating meat and vegetables only. Like I couldn't eat bread or pasta or anything like that. And honestly and truly, it's not something that I want to have to be worried about for the rest of my life. And because I know that there is surgery to treat it and to remove this fat from my body, I decided to just go ahead while I'm 31 and get it out the way, because I've seen women who let the disease progress and they get to 40 and 50 and their skin is extremely wore out and stretched and saggy, and they have issues with mobility. They can barely walk or do basic exercises because the fat begins to become extremely painful. Again, this is not regular fat. The texture of the fat isn't even the same as regular fat. How this has affected my life is that I've had pain in one of my joints. And again, I'm only 31, but I started having this pain when I was like 24, and the only thing that keeps it in check is when I do exercise and walk on a regular basis. But if I go a couple of days without working out, the pain returns to my joints because there's too much fat on my joint. Another way that it's affected me is that I avoid taking pictures. I also feel really, really tired and fatigued throughout the day because of the excess fat. And I like to move around. I like to explore. I like to travel. I can't be tired and ready to lay down and go to sleep just because I walked a little bit. So this has to go. I also avoid taking pictures in social situations because I feel like my arms just make me look so much bigger than what I am. And people can call that vain or insecure or whatever, but I feel like we all want to present ourselves in the best light. And the chafing. The chafing is really bad. I'm tired of my thighs rubbing up against each other. So a lot of that has to go. As far as my doctor, he's one of the main reasons why I chose to move from the United States to Colombia. It was just more cost effective for me to be here and be able to see him on a regular basis versus coming between Colombia and the United States. This is a long road to recovery. There's more than just surgery involved to treat this disease. And he seemed to be one of the best in his field. And for me, it was also a matter of cost. To be clear, you definitely should not solely choose a doctor to treat your lipedema based purely on price, because this is a medical cosmetic procedure. The legs are a lot different than having lipo on like the stomach or even the arms. There are a lot of nerves and arteries, and you cannot treat the legs the same way that you treat other parts of your bodies. They have to map out veins and arteries and use ultrasound while they are doing the liposuction. And if something goes wrong, they could damage your lymphatic system and you end up with lymphedema or worse. So this is not a cheap surgery, even here in Colombia. I won't tell y'all what price I'm paying, because if you come see my doctor and he looks at you and he's dealing with a different situation with you than me, I don't want you to say, well, you told Mariah, this price, but you're giving me this price because your situation and your case might be different. You might be in a later stage of lipedema than me and it might require more. I have to have 2 surgeries. So we'll have the first surgery, they'll take out the fat from my arms, thighs, and calves, from my arms and legs as much as he can, and then I have to come in 3 to 6 months later to get the surgery done. So again, this is not a situation where I'm coming and getting $2 or $3 or even $4,000 liposuction here in Colombia. Can you find that here? Yes. I'm not going to pay that because this is a surgery that requires a lot of care, specialization, and treatment beforehand. This is also not a quick fix surgery or an easy way out. My doctor is very adamant about me being in the best health before I actually ever touch an operating table. So I have to go to an endocrinologist. I have to go to a nutritionist. I have to get lymphatic massages on a regular basis. I also have to lose a certain amount of weight and put on a certain amount of muscle so that my skin does not sag post-op. And I have to wear compression garments. This all will take place over a series of months. I probably won't be able to have my surgery until the beginning of next year. In conclusion, I'm really excited to begin this journey. Ladies, if you are dealing with this type of disease, don't let people shame you into not going and seeing a specialist or getting surgery because they're telling you can just work it off in the gym. There are certain things that you just can't fix in the gym, and that's why we have modern medicine. There are specialists who are really good in places like Tampa, Florida. Also, Poland, you can find doctors who treat this disease for a reasonable price. Germany, and of course, here in Colombia. Just do your research and make sure that you are only working with somebody who specializes in this particular disease. Until next time, ciao.